A very good morning to all the participants of today's webinar on career prospects in public relations. I, on behalf of the entire Department of Mass Communication, School of Media, Film and Entertainment, Sharda University, would like to extend a very warm welcome to our guest speaker, Mr. Nitin Mantri, and to all the virtual participants of the webinar. The webinar will be of approximately 1.5 hours. And our first panelist is Mr. Nitin Mantri. He is the Group CEO, Evian V, and President of PRCAI and ICCO. And our second panelist is Professor Dr. Ritu Sood. She is a filmmaker and an author, and Dean SMFE. So this is a little about Sharda University. Sharda University is one of the leading universities in India, and School of Media, Film and Entertainment has been ranked among top 10 institutions in India by the Higher Education Digest. Sharda University offers multiple programs in almost 15 different schools, incorporating mass communication, architecture, design, engineering, medical, law, management, humanities, social sciences, and life sciences. Around 1,200 faculties are with us in the university with global experience, and we have a very good blend of industrial and academic exposure. We have students from almost 80 plus countries, which gives us a wonderful intercultural environment where our students get a lot of knowledge. So Department of Mass Communication, in School of Media, Film and Entertainment, we have two departments, Mass Communication, and we do have another department, Animation and VFX. In Animation and VFX, we have Animation, BSc in Animation and BSc in Gaming, while Department of Mass Communication offers Bachelor's in the Arts of Journalism and Mass Communication. We have a PG program, MA in Journalism and Mass Communication. We have MA in Advertising, Public Relation and Corporate Communication. We have Bachelor's in Film and Television Production, and we also offer PhD in Mass Communication. From the academic year 2020, we are starting our integrated 4-year integrated program in BA plus MA, Journalism and Mass Communication. We are introducing BA in Acting and Modeling. We are also introducing 2 PG Diploma courses, PG Diploma in Still Photography and PG Diploma in Event Management. These are our prospect recruiters. We are proud to announce that almost 90% of our alumni are already working in the industry with renowned brands. So we have our guest, our first panelist today with us, Mr. Nitin Mantri. Mr. Nitin Mantri is Group CEO of Evian V, the President of the Public Relations Consultants Association of India, PRCAI and ICCO. Evian V has been providing services from more than 15 years with over 200 employees in 6 different offices across India and is India's leading integrated communications agency. Its key clients including Samsung, Qualcomm, Philips, and many more. Mr. Nitin Mantri is the first Asian to hold the position of President of the International Communications Consultancy Organization, ICCO. For his contribution to the PR industry, Mr. Nitin Mantri has been awarded with the Global PR Leader of the Year in 2015 at ICCO Global Awards. We have our second panelist, Professor Dr. Ritu Sood. She is an award-winning media professional with over 3 decades of experience in journalism, filmmaking, radio, and television production. Her film, Desh Ki Shaan Hai Beti, was released to the nation by then President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Professor Sood has also produced and directed TV serials, documentaries for both national and international networks. She has won many laurels for contribution in not only filmmaking, but as an author also. Author of 9 books, Professor Sood's critically acclaimed book titled Message Design for Development Communication is now part of the reference book in top universities worldwide. So, on behalf of the entire Department of Mass Communication, School of Media, Film and Entertainment, I welcome Mr. Nitin Mantri and all the virtual participants of our webinar. Just few things. Kindly keep your microphones mute throughout the webinar so that you can listen to the speakers very clearly. You can write your questions in the chat box. And if you want to direct your question to a specific speaker, kindly address it to the speaker. For any admission related query, you can always reach on admissions@sharda.ac.in. And for any domain or subject specific query, you can reach to dean.scadms@sharda.ac.in. Now, I would like to request Mantri sir to kindly take the mic.
Great, thank you, Mukta. Thank you, Ritu. Thank you for inviting me to the session. I'm going to talk a little bit about career prospects and public relations. But before I do that, I think it'd be important to just talk about briefly what's happening in the world today and how that's impacting not only the world, but our country, and more importantly, the industry that we are in and which you'll probably graduate into in some time. I think in a nutshell, we're all trying to take steps and kind of be like superhumans if necessary, kind of efforts to give support to the clients, right? A lot of the clients are relying on their firms to help them figure out what the landscape is like. It's become the good thing is that communication or public relations is sort of a business critical need now. Right? So people do need to communicate whatever it might be. Clients are also looking for partners who can commit and sustain support for the medium to long term, helping them on the other side of the issue. Because PR firms in general have been fairly experts in managing crises, right? But of course, this crisis is unlike any other, right? I don't think any of us was, or maybe because not on this time, definitely alive. The last such crisis happened. The last such crisis in my view is not the 2008 crisis, because I think that is still very mild compared to what's happening today. It was a 2018-19 Spanish flu crisis, when it was very similar to what this world faced at that time. No crisis has led people to work from home, avoid contact with others, stop traveling, stop tourism, stop hospitality. It is humanitarian, it is corporate, and it's economic. It impacts all three spaces in this crisis. And therefore, there's never been a better time when open, honest, purposeful, and direct communications has mattered more. And providing that counsel is very important. Why I gave this small little background is that whatever we as industry professionals were doing till 15th of March in India has totally changed on what we're doing the last 2 weeks. Not, I won't say 100%, but at least 50% has changed. How are we finding solutions? How are we supporting our work? How are we expanding our scope of work? All that has changed. And that really brings me to the topic around careers in public relations. So before this pandemic hit, there was public relations over the years has anyways expanded dramatically, right? So I always tell people that the traditional PR agency or the traditional PR firm is dead. The new PR firm is more digital, it's more agile, it's more adaptive, it's a little bit more informal than it was in the past. But it exists, and it exists in a better way. Therefore, the opportunities have actually increased, not lessened. What happened in the last 5 years was, till about 2014-15, PR firms were largely focused around media communications. So what I would say, earned media. And we never did anything beyond that, except maybe dabble a little bit around CSR, and we could see some green shoots on digital communications. But the last 5-6 years has totally changed the way the industry is structured today, right? So the first big change that happened was that everybody started seeing PR in what it was. So earlier we used to reach out to stakeholders via the media, today we are reaching out to stakeholders directly because of the digital platform. When I say stakeholders, it could be consumers, it could be government, it could be investors, it could be anybody for that matter. And we have that option now. So the first big change that happened was that social media became very prevalent within the PR firm. Now, a lot of people ask me that where does digital sit? Does it sit under advertising, or does it sit under digital or digital firms themselves, because they're separate digital only firms? My answer to that is, I explain it this way, because I think what advertising firms are really good at doing is creative. What digital firms are really good at doing is technology. They can build really good website and really good tools and apps. But what PR firms can really do well is engagement, because that's what we've grown up doing. We've always done engagement, and we've not done one-way engagement like an advertising firm, because advertising firm does what? Gives ads. It's one-way engagement. We design an ad, we place an ad, and we just hope, or we test the ad before, of course, but we hope that the ad will get the requisite response. But what the PR firm has done traditionally and continues to do is two-way engagement, two-way communication. We understand how to engage people. And I think that gives us the edge in managing a lot of the digital communications for our clients as well. So the way things have moved is today, PR firms have, within the PR firms, you have fully functional digital capabilities, which is, so therefore career prospects have gone up. You could join a digital part of the PR firm, which could be design, if you have a caliber for design. It could be creative, if you want to do creative. It could just be community or social media management, which is managing Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or any other social channels of a client, right? So that whole space, or content, sorry, I forgot. Content is, again, become one very critical piece, and I'll come to content in a bit. So the whole piece has become very large now. So today, when you go to a PR firm, you will not just see people talking to journalists anymore. People are engaging directly with consumers on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, whatever. So that piece is a fairly larger new piece, where if you want to do social media management within a PR firm, it's there. The second piece, which has changed over the last few years, again, is around policy. Public policy is becoming more relevant and more prevalent within us. I always ask this question, but I'm not going to, because this is a webinar. That is public affairs or government relations, public policy, is it legal to do in our country? Well, the answer to that usually is it's not illegal, right? There is no law against it. There's no law for it. But over the years, as governments have changed, as governments have become more adaptive to talking to private organizations and companies and taking suggestions, they're willing to listen to you and talk to you. And therefore, this new stream around policy communications has come into being. And today, it's a thriving space. And if any of you are interested in doing policy and regulatory affairs, policy communications, just work around public policy, which is for a person who has an inclination to do a little bit more research than compared to an average person, would like to read and more and have some of the nuances of how a government functions, or anybody comes from a political science background who are in master's courses, who have already done political science, for example, it would be a great option for them. Today, a lot of firms do policy communications. When I say public affairs, I mean your client are still private companies like I don't know, a Dell or a Google or a Airbnb, whatever. But you're proactively reaching out to government and stakeholders and building partnerships with states and governments to further the cause of some policy measures in favor of your client, right? So that's been one big area that has opened up in the recent past. I would say growth has really happened in the last 5 years. The government is willing to talk, government is willing to listen, and more importantly, I think that's the most important point, is it is done transparently and ethically. That's the biggest important point here. One of the third areas, so I've talked about social media, I've talked about public policy. One of the third areas is around CSR and social impact. There's a research which talks about the fact that today more than 50% of consumers in India want to talk to firms that have a defined purpose and follow their purpose. When I mean purpose, I mean it's not just CSR. CSR could be building a school next to your factory for your workers and their children, right? But this is about the way you do business or conduct business. So it could be Starbucks saying that we'll only procure coffee without any middlemen and directly from the farmer in Ethiopia. It could be Mahindras who are doing this wonderful campaign for women within the organization and outside the organization. It could be a company like Dell or EMC in the past who have a big focus on inclusivity, on gender diversity, LGBTQ, and specially abled people, about them working in their organizations. So it could be a variety of what your purpose stands for today. But what opportunity it gives to public relations professionals is that we can today design campaigns for companies around their purpose. And let me give you an example here on some work that we are doing. So for example, a company like AB InBev, for those who don't know AB InBev is the one that makes the Corona beer. It's quite famous now with the coronavirus, but they also make Budweiser and they also make Hoegaarden. So they're the world's largest brewery in the world. It's a company called AB InBev. They are running a campaign on safer roads for Gurugram in Gurgaon, and that's a campaign where it doesn't matter where the AB InBev name is there or not, but they've tied up. We've helped them tie up with 20 organizations in Gurgaon to create this campaign on how do we reduce the risk of accidents in Gurgaon, and not just through drunk driving, but in general, which could mean filling up potholes where there are potholes in the roads, etc. That is their purpose. And that piece is done by a specialized team, which is called, in our agency, for example, it's called Social Impact, right? This new space is called Purpose-Driven Communications. And Purpose-Driven Communications is here to stay. It's more important in a post-COVID era now. Post-COVID, a lot of people, in fact, even during COVID, a lot of people are actually talking about how do we do purpose-driven campaigns. I don't know if you've read, but today, companies like Pernod Ricard that make Absolute and Chivas Regal, I'm sure you'll understand recognize the brands. Absolute is not producing Absolute in their factories, but they're producing sanitizers in their bottles, right? That's purpose, right? Similarly, there are multiple examples of how Google or Facebook or Apple have produced masks, how auto companies are producing ventilators in their factories to support the government. So all those are going to become more important, and how do you navigate that purpose-driven communications is becoming more specialized. So we are working with private organizations like Danone, like Honda, AB InBev, to define their purpose and drive their communications. And that's a new stream of a career in a lot of the agencies today. And not only agencies, but also corporates. All the career prospects I'm talking about are both relevant for PR firms, agencies, and also for companies who may hire you in their corporate communication or larger branding teams. Design, social media was one. The second piece I spoke about was policy. The third piece was social impact. The other fourth piece that is picked up steam with the COVID-19 situation is internal communications. Mostly companies never thought so much about, I mean, they did, I'm not saying they didn't, but it wasn't that critical. It wasn't, even if it was critical, it was not top of mind. It wasn't the most the most sought after kind of space that people were communicating, or people were like, okay, let's do a newsletter for our employees, and that's the end. But in a post-COVID era, it's going to become very, very critical. In a post-COVID era, internal communications has actually become absolutely critical. And when I say post-COVID, I mean today, companies want to talk to employees more and more. We just finished a survey amongst the PR agencies, literally like last week, and 100% of agencies said the most important communications today is communications to their employees, as in clients' employees. 100%. It was never the case before. Internal comms always came a third or a fourth in the larger scheme of things, but today it's on really the top space. And honestly, when I say internal communication, employee communications, it is just about communicating openly, transparently, freely, in innovative ways. And it's not the domain of HR people anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. Earlier, a lot of HR people were saying, okay, we need to do it. But today, it's the CopCom people who are running internal comms and keeping employees engaged around messages of the organization, as well as messages on what they want employees to hear and communicate to the outside world, right? We're doing it for our own organization, and I know a lot of clients are doing it for their own organizations. So whether it's a simple newsletter or whether it's strategic enough on how to and what to communicate, that is becoming a big ask. So, for example, video newsletters are becoming very important today in the day of COVID. Town halls over Zoom or Google or Microsoft Teams is becoming more prevalent. Making your own staff and employees talk and spread the right word is becoming more prevalent. But what they should talk and how they should talk is still the domain of the corporate communication teams and professionals. So a lot of clients are coming to us to say, okay, guys, here's what our challenges with our employees, help us communicate this. And that's what we are doing with them. The other piece that is, so that's another great area. If you like to look at internal comms, that's a big piece to be part of. The other piece that's coming back is issues and crisis. Well, it never went away, but it's more and more prevalent today with the COVID situation. Clients want to communicate transparently, they want to communicate faster, quicker, and they're asking us for help on how to communicate in a crisis today. While it's always been inbuilt into a fabric, but a lot of specialization will come around crisis and issues as well as we go along. It'll become very multifaceted as you go along for each crisis on what you need from an individual to manage that. It could be strong media, it could be strong policy, it could be strong internal communications, it could be strong reputation management online. So it could have multifaceted skills requirements, but that's also here to stay now. Nobody thought of COVID-19 as a crisis. Nobody thought of it. We all do crisis plans, but we never thought that there'll be a pandemic and we'll have to do this, or shut our offices and work from home for, well, it's already been 40 days. And I'm assuming educational institutions are going to probably be shut till June or July. Those are some of the areas that are now coming up in the PR industry today. So, if I look at public relations and how it's changed, dramatic shift, right? And now let me just talk about 5 more minutes on 2 other areas. So one is that when I say traditional PR is there, the big chunk of what we do is also media relations or earned media. We go out and pitch to journalists, we place a story, and the story comes out in the newspaper, and we all are happy about it. That still exists. That's still about 45% of the work that PR firms do. It will continue to be. It will probably move more online. The other piece that is going to change is that earned media is increasingly supplemented with a lot of paid and home media. When I say paid media, I mean actually placing online advertising, or paid media could be writing and placing advertorials. And therefore, you would today a media planner can also join a PR firm. Uh, but more importantly, it has given rise to a good content person or content people. We ourselves have a 10 content writers in our office today. And when I say content writers, they come from a variety of backgrounds. They could be ex-journalists. They could just have a good flavor of writing uh, because they write blogs every now and then. They could be sector experts, like in the technology space or health space. So those are all going to be much needed today. And we also hired people last year from institutes just to do content writing if you really have good content skills. And content skills are not just written word, by the way, it's also scripting for videos. It's also writing infographics or shorthand or longhand. So today we have people who will write posts for Facebook, but also write a 3,000 word article or a white paper for a technology company. So it's a mix of content, and they will do scripting for a video, right? So it's a mix of different pieces of content. So those are some of the areas where career prospects are now honestly increasing. And today the PR firm has become a completely different from that it was at least when I joined 20 years back, 22 years back. So today it's got multifaceted people. Culturally, it has changed. The industry has changed a lot culturally. It has given rise to more opportunities and more um, creativity, to be honest, than in the past. So I'm going to stop here, and I'm happy to take any questions. And Ritu, I'm happy to have uh, listen to you on what your views are on that.
Thank you, Mintri sir. Now moving to our second panelist, we'll have the question answer session later, so that we'll just have few views of our second panelist, our Dean SMFE, Professor Ritu Sood. Ma'am, would you like to enlighten our panelist about the career prospects in public relation, as you have a good amalgamation of experience in industry, filmmaking, and academia?
Yeah. Thank you, Mukta, and thank you, Nitinji. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, and I'm sure, like me, all the students that who have virtually joined us are also equally excited, and I've learned a lot. And frankly, what you said about the public relations during the COVID time, it was very interesting because times have changed, and obviously we have to rethink. And I would also, Mukta, I'm slightly shifting here. Nitinji, what I would like to ask you is that during COVID-19, you must have done some campaigns. If you could slightly, stress on it and tell our young budding PR professionals as to how, I'm sure we must have seen some of your campaigns.
Yeah, sure. I can talk. I can talk some of the campaigns. In fact, let me talk about some global campaigns and some Indian campaigns. So I mentioned about Pernod Ricard. They retooled their production. They bolstered the supply of hand sanitizers, and instead of their factories producing vodka, they were producing sanitizers. Then another company I'll talk about is from an India perspective is a company called VMware. They are a technology company, as some of you know, and they run a program they have a program called Tara, which is for women wanting to come back to work after having taken a break because of children or any other reason, right? So what we did during this time was we started saying that when you are at home, what are you doing at social distancing times? And around the Tara program. And the client, they love the suggestion. And today we've seen that the Tara team is identifying women who want to be part of this program on how to do social distancing. They're coming on board, and we've actually seen an increase in number of women registering for this program. Second, another example I can share very easily is a client called WaterAid. WaterAid is an NGO that looks at tackling water issues in the country. They've launching a campaign in India on TikTok with celebrities to highlight features of washing hands to protect yourself from the coronavirus, right? Um, and the idea is we're taking it one step ahead. So we are saying water aid is more around the fact that save water. And over the last few weeks, we've seen that a lot of people are talking about using water to wash hands, etc. So what we've done is we've made a little fun on the campaign to say, while you're washing your hands to protect yourself from the virus, please don't forget to close the tap, save water. It's a huge hit, the campaign, to say, yes, let's not forget to save water as well, because we are going to use more water as we go ahead. Apart from that, there have been a couple of other global campaigns like Skin. They've come back to the Skin as a condom maker. They're featuring various messages for compelling people to stay home, ongoing content. They've created with Paris, with the agency in France. The clients, their companies like USC Group, which is an education company, World Health Organization. So a lot of people are doing some wonderful work. I can keep going on, Ritu.
Yeah. Okay. As being a filmmaker, what I would like to tell my virtual participants is that public relation is everywhere, and even to get an employment, you have to kind of be very. It's a business. Everybody is there for a business, and the more you project yourself, the more clients you get. And for the film releases also, it's all today public relations, and it's a very, very upcoming field. And in fact, I would like to ask you, Nitinji, one more question is that what is the organizational structure if a student wants to become a PR? So how does he start in your organization straight after graduation?
They start at a trainee level. They start as what we call a junior account executive level, and then they gradually move up to an AE and a manager and account senior manager, etc. And usually the first year is, or the first. So we have something called a seed training program where we induct every new joinee into various aspects of public relations, or what the agent or what we do. And they actually then start learning on the job, and they can also move around different areas or different disciplines on to try what they would best fit in or what they would most enjoy. We do give that option to people if they want to take that. 1, 2, we also give them the option to look at different sectors. So some people have a flair for consumers, some people have a flair for B2B, some people have a flair for maybe lifestyle compared to technology or consumer or retail, or auto. So we do give people that option to move around to understand what is that really gets them going. So yeah, so that's what it's at. They do a training program that's ongoing on the job. They'll start working on more understanding the client, the knowledge base. Honestly, it's up to the person how quickly they pick up and how quickly they learn on the job. We don't hold back anybody in our organization. I know junior executives have gone and met the client in the first 2 months or the first month, even at times, or some people have gone in even 6 months later. So it really depends, on how they contribute. I think the idea is read. Knowledge is king. Read. And if you read, you'll come up with thoughts and ideas which you can contribute to. And if you see you're a great contributor, then we will, of course, manage you actually contribute more to the organization and therefore be in the forefront earlier rather than later.
Okay, thank you. Here, I would also like to inform all our participants that at Sharda University, we have MA in Ad, PR and Corporate Communication. And even in our integrated, which the course that we are starting in BJMC and MA, we have a specialization in PR, advertising, or whatever you want to choose. We have a bouquet of mass communication for you. And also, I would like to say that we are also starting in acting and modeling, and also we are starting with event management and photography. We are stressing more on skill these days because skill is what is needed. And if you have any queries regarding admissions, please contact us at admissions@sharda.ac.in. You can come to our campus after the lockdown is over. Come and meet me. Have a tour of the campus. You're going to love it. And over to you, Mukta, now, please, for the question answer sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So moving on further for the question answer session, we have received a lot of questions, but we are just trying to incorporate all the questions which are related to today's topic. So adding to ma'am your question, Nitin sir, few students are asking, like, apart from their professional degree, academic degree, what other qualities your company look for a prospect employee? Like, what qualities they should have?
Preferably good writing skills, good writing and good communication skills. Those are the two qualities we would look at apart from a professional degree. We do take a writing test to everybody who joins, irrespective of the level, to be honest. We do take, and we do an interviews. So I think good writing skills is going to be important at this level for sure.
So few students are a little worried about the situation, so they wanted to know what will happen to the PR industry in next couple of years after the COVID situation.
Good question. I think like every other industry, we are also impacted. I guess PR firms who had exposure more to clients in the space of hospitality, travel, aviation, they are probably slightly harder hit than people who had exposure to technology and health. Those sectors are still doing okay. Give it 6 months and things we are hoping will get back to normalcy. This will be a tough year. This is a challenging year. There's no two ways about it. The industry, we just had a PRCAI meeting in the morning. The industry by and large is protecting most jobs today. I haven't seen many jobs being lost in our industry. I think we feel that the clients are going to come back after 6 months. Some clients who've left, not working with us or taken a suspension. I actually think, and which is what I mentioned early in my talk, that I think clients understand it's a business that we need. And when they start operations again, whether it's a McDonald's or it's a SpiceJet or any other airline, they will need to communicate. And one of the more cost-effective ways of communication and credible ways of communication is PR. And that's why I don't think we are going to be that badly impacted. I think not definitely 2 years. Short term, yes, but midterm we'll recover. I think by the end of this financial year or even earlier, we should start seeing recovery. I think hiring this year will be lower than what it was last year.
Okay, so Nitin sir, our next question is from our one of the participants. It's about the crisis management in your company. So he's asking, like, how your company is dealing with the COVID-19, as in the crisis communication. Could you just share it with the students?
How we are dealing? Well, I think we had a really good. We are invested in technology early on. Our whole office, we have 265 people across the country, and we have all been working for the last 40 odd days. Actually, we shut down on 16th of March, so it's actually been almost 7 weeks since we've been working from home. Everybody's been working from home. We are on Microsoft Teams. It's been pretty smooth, I have to say. I must say it's not been that bad. So from a technology side, it's been working okay. From the employee perspective, I think we've done a lot of measures. We have an employee assistance program where we have a counselor available to employees through the day, including weekends. If they have any mental health or stress or any other issues, we have counselors on standby, and a lot of people have availed of that facility. We regularly do, like every Friday, including today, we do a virtual kind of a get together where either somebody's jamming on the virtually, or we are doing a stand-up comedy act or something. So we are keeping people engaged. We have a game hour every day where we play different things from Ludo to chess to Othello. So there's a gaming hour. So there is a lot of activities that we're doing to keep our staff engaged. As far as clients go, we're keeping it business as usual wherever, as much as possible. They understand and they support us because they understand what the situation is. A lot of things have gone virtual. So, for example, we are now hosting virtual press conferences and press meets compared to what we're doing physically. So, yeah, a lot of things. We're doing a lot of webinars with bloggers and journalists as well. So, yeah, so that's the way we're managing stuff.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have another question from Ms. Shambhavi Mishra. Her question is how important it is to have the knowledge of technology, that is softwares, etc., to have a good career in public relation industry.
You don't need to have knowledge of technology unless you are very interested in only going to technology. Even then, you don't need it because you can pick it up on the job. So no, you don't need knowledge of technology.
Okay.
All you need is to have you need to read a lot and have knowledge about what's happening around you. And basically, if you read, you'll start writing better automatically.
Okay. And there are a lot of parents as well, and they're worried about this particular field since they don't know much about public relation. So their question is how public relation could be a good field for their kids.
A good career option for
option for their children, yes.
Well, I've spent more than 20 years in this profession. So this industry is growing. It was growing till last year at about roughly 14-15% growth rate, which is higher than most other industries. It is, like I said, the industry has expanded over the years and not contracted. We've added more disciplines within it, integrated it much better, like policy, like social digital, like CSR, impact, content. So prospects are bright. Like I mentioned earlier, today we had corporates in the last survey that we did globally and in India. Corporate reputation came as one of the top findings of that survey, and corporates are actually worried about reputation, and they feel that marketeers cannot handle that, but communicators can, and that's a result of a survey done with CEOs. So yeah, prospects are pretty good. I mean, if you have, like I said, a flair for it, and if you're invested, it's good. It doesn't pay so well when you start, but as you start growing up, it's like advertising in a way. It starts with doesn't pay like big amounts in the start of your career, but it catches up with the rest over the next like 2-3 years of your job.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to the last question for the webinar. One of the students is very interested to know that how do you see digital marketing as a career for the new pass-out students? Digital marketing and public relations.
I think it's a great. I think everybody should have some knowledge of social media and digital if they're coming to join a PR firm today. I think all of you have some knowledge because you're all on Instagram or something. It's today all our clients are doing some part of their campaign online. I think 95% of the clients. I leave out 5-10% just because some of them are very hardcore B2B and they don't see value in it. But 90% of the clients have some element of social, whether it's through influencer outreach, blogger outreach, or direct social media outreach on their channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social media. So I can give you multiple examples of clients like MasterCard, where we're managing their Twitter handle. Clients like VMware, we're managing they're a B2B firm, managing everything for them, right from their Twitter to their videos, everything. Plus the regular PR engagement. So it's Reckitt Kaiser, the guys who make Dettol, or Lysol, again, we're doing a lot of work for them. So yeah, knowledge is important to have with digital media. You may not use it for every client, but it's always useful to have that knowledge because we will need it.
I would also like to ask a question on behalf of the students.
Sure.
So Nitinji, very good morning. This is Dr. Amit Chawla. I'm head of the Department of Mass Communication at Sharda University. So in our university, in our department, in our school, it is very important for all the students to learn about entrepreneurship. That's one of the missions of our school, to not just make students employees, but employers, job givers, and not just job seekers. So I would also like to take your opinion on if one or some more students of ours would like to start up their own ventures in PR agencies, or maybe, can there be some independent, PR professionals, or how much is the scope for that?
Yeah, they're there, absolutely. And if they have the knack and flair, absolutely. I would recommend for people like I did myself. I'm an entrepreneur. I worked for several years before I started my own PR firm. And I would recommend the same because it's not a product. So you can't design a product and start selling tomorrow. You need to learn on the job. And with due respect to all universities and courses, they will teach you, I would say, up to 50, 60, 70% even. But the main 30% comes from working on the job. And I would recommend everybody to actually work for at least 5 years to get the hang of what publications is, what the different facets are, do some campaigns, and then start their own venture if they have that streak of entrepreneurship in them. So absolutely, there are multiple examples in the industry today who started after working for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years in some cases. I remember I probably worked for about 7, 8 years before I started my own venture. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Work for some time before starting it.
Oh, thank you so much, Nitinji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Nitin sir, and thank you, Dean ma'am. I think since we are running short of time, so I would request our Dean ma'am for a vote of thanks. And thank you so much, Nitin sir. I'm sure your answer, I'm sure your address must have answered all the queries to our students' queries. Thank you.
If there are more questions, please send it to me on email and I'll answer them back.
Yes, sure. That is. Okay, so if you have any query, you can ask us, or we have already put the email IDs on the chat box. You can get it from there and you can put your questions directly there. Thank you, Nitin sir. Ma'am, please.
Okay. Nitin, on behalf of Sharda University School of Media, Film and Entertainment, thank you so much to join us on this virtual webinar. In fact, we would love to have you physically in our university. So in good times, I would like to extend our invitation. Please come. And because I've seen so many of your presentations and interacted. So, I mean, students will learn so much. And also, I would like to say is that the PR, media lives on. Media is the industry which will work no matter COVID, no matter what. We are the ones who create awareness. We are the ones who warn you. We are the ones who will always be there for you. Media never shies up. Media is always there. So join us in this journey at School of Film, School of Media, Film and Entertainment at Sharda University. For any queries, you can talk to us at admissions@sharda.ac.in, or you can personally email me at dean.scadmus@sharda.ac.in, and we'll be there to help you. And during once the university opens, you're most welcome to come and meet me. And thank you, Nitin. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin sir. Thank you, Dean ma'am. Thank you, Amit.